Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Hopefully everyone is doing well today. Greetings, greetings. Give people a couple minutes. All right. Everyone is doing well today. And I have hit record, so we are recording. We are doing good. All right. Well, let's get rolling. It is GT Tuesday. It is September 26th, 1 in the afternoon. So today we're going to continue our conversation with state plan, looking at access for all, and then looking today. We're going to talk about STAAR data. Look at some of that. Do a little Q&A, couple of announcements. If you have anything you want to share, put out to the world. We'll give time for that. But we like to start off with our wellness check. So how are you doing out there? How's everyone doing? Everyone doing well? Hopefully school is going. I see a thumbs up. Thank you, Rosemary. See a thumbs up. Hope school's going all right. All right. It's September. It's about to be the state fair season. So it's like, okay, state fair opens up this weekend. So and got ball games, sports going on. I think everyone got some stuff. Hands up. All right, ready to roll. All right. September has that only one holiday. October only has one. Come on. So we're getting there. All right. Yep. Time to move forward. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here with me today. So we're going, as you know, I always start with our state definition. So we're looking at those students who performs at or shows the potential for. And you kind of determine that with your program services. What are you looking for? How are you looking for those students? How are you serving those students in your buildings and in those classrooms? Even if it's that one building classroom where all of your students, K-8, K-12, go, or if it's, those elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, depending on, we're a large state. We got everything from that 8 classrooms, we're all that, one classroom building, to we got 200 built campuses in one district. So really thinking about how do we serve our students. What are we looking for when we talk about exhibit high performance capability in an intellectual, creative, or artistic way? What is that possessing that unusual capacity for leadership? What are you looking for? And then how are you looking for those students who are excelling in those specific academic fields? But then on the flip side, how are you providing those services? What do you do to ensure that all students have the opportunity to demonstrate that performance? And that goes to our state goal. So really looking at, as a part of our services, how are they demonstrating those skills? How are they directing their own learning, their thinking, the research, and communicating about that? And we're looking for that to be done through innovative products and performances, really showing their own individuality and their creativity. So really thinking about, as we talk about advanced students, and we're looking at it and we're looking to that district, similar age, experience, or environment. So, that is what we're looking for. And then are our high school students, because I've seen some recently that are showing how they have their goal, how they have met this goal with the products that they are producing and the work they're talking about. And so really, are your students getting to that level? Or are you pushing your students to go to your high school students? Or is your programs ending at sixth grade or 5th grade? When they really should be going to high school? What do those products and those performances look like at the high school level when we're talking about our GT programs, our GT standards, and what are we looking for our students to do? So once again, we do meet twice a month, a morning edition at 9 a.m. and then an afternoon here at 1 o'clock. Some of the topics, we're still going to kind of look at our GT data. We're going to always talk about the GT state plan. Everything is embedded in that work. And then we're looking also at access to GT service, assessing for GT services and access to GT services. I have to correct that one. And so really thinking about how that. And I need to see our partners in this beautiful work of Gifted Ed. Is it Kristen or Paulina today? Are they here? I do not see either. I missed it. Okay. But as you know, with gifted with TAGT coming up as Gifted Ed 2022 in end of November, November 30th through the 2nd, I want to say uh here in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. So I will be on the lookout for that. And I also think they got their forum coming up. Also for those who are more of an advanced leader, uh, compared to those new directors, but you've been there for a moment, you're ready for that next level or that next challenge. They have that coming up. Maybe they'll join us a little bit later. They'll drop in. We'll give them a moment. But always remember, you can always go to txgifted.org to find out more information on the services that they have to provide and any questions there. All right, so as I said earlier, we're looking at access to GT services. And as you know, our first GT Tuesday, we really kind of looked at our emerging bilingual students. But remember, when we talk about access, we're making sure that all students K-12 have access if they have been identified to GT services, and really making sure that we are identifying our students. But that determination for services and placement is done by a local committee of 3 or more. That is kind of, and I've always been taught, and I always promote that it's reflective of your district. So those people who are serving on those, either district or campus educators, are reflective of that campus or that district. So kind of making sure that all students' data is reviewed carefully, and looking at how we're placing them into our programs. And then we also are looking for how we are assuring that we have an array of learning opportunities that is commensurate for all of our students with their abilities, and really looking at that 4 core. So when we talk of the 4 core, and we know that when we look at our numbers, a majority of our programs are pull-out programs. Then our next is our full inclusion. So really those should be kind of almost even keel when we look at the numbers and we look at how programs are being served. Because if they're just in the pull-out, you got to ensure how they're meeting the 4 core. But then if you're doing both, you're supporting both with that 4 curricular areas. Now, we do understand that at certain points where we do go into those specific academic fields, but we really got to make sure we have services in the 4. And then when we start looking at those specific academic fields, we're promoting that and we're supporting that. But we always have an opportunity for students to be supported in all 4. Now, if you're testing for general intellect, you are supporting it in all 4. And most of our elementary programs are that way until they become departmentalized. But we're also making sure that student services are provided during the school day all year long. And so, making sure that your program is clear, is understood, and everyone knows what is happening when it is happening. Our students have the opportunity to work together, work as a group, work independently as they are working in that school day, and that is a part of your direct services. Okay. And then also remember, what are those challenging learning experiences? And in the 4 core is provided K-12. And that goes to the question, are you working with your counterparts in those departmentalized committees, departments, to make sure that some of those challenging learning experiences are incorporated into their lessons or their opportunities? How can they we're working with high quality instructional materials. How are they implementing, when to look for something a little bit higher for your children, our students? Are we giving them those ideas? I know I'm working at my level, trying to get those things discussed, added into our systems, putting it on their radar. But you're at that world where the curriculum, the textbooks they're using. Get involved. Get into those conversations of how are you looking for these students? What are they doing? What is the next challenging reading lesson or textbook or subject or poem that they can use compared to others? Are they being invited Is there someone that's GT being invited to the writing curriculum for teachers, giving some examples of differentiated instruction. So really thinking on how can we embed into their programs and their services to get them to assist in developing better products for our students. So as I said, we talked about emerging bilingual last month, and not last month, last time. And when I get my SPED data, we'll come back to SPED, but we're going to go to STAAR, and we're going to look at some STAAR data and STAAR results, and I'm just going state level, and we're going to just talk about what those looks like, and I'm going to show you a tool. Hopefully you've seen it, hopefully you've used it. If not, this is a great opportunity to talk about it, to see if you're using it, to get that opportunity in your district or just for yourself, to get the data, to look at it by your schools, your campuses, to get to another level as we go into it. So as you know, we have STAAR summary reports out there in our districts. And so what are STAAR summary reports? You can go on our website, and under STAAR assessments, you will find all of these materials. And so first one is just an ELC analysis. Then you have the STAAR all results analysis and the 2022 analysis. And then kind of interpreting reports. So, those are the main general reports we always see that has all the data on it. Everything's out there. And then you have our results pages. But then the one I really wanted to play with today, and I pulled some screenshots, and we'll get to look at this document, is the Texas Assessment Analytic Portal. Give me a thumbs up if you've used it before, seen it, been to it, or a thumbs down if you've never seen it. Never seen it. Yay. All right. We're going to have some fun today. All right. So I went to the STAAR Analytic Portal and really pulled out some data. And instead of me doing all these screenshots, let me do one thing. I'm going to flip for a moment. I'll show you my screenshots, but let me continue where I was going. So what I screenshotted here is the grade 3. It is our STAAR reading and our STAAR mathematics by gifted and talented. So this is our state numbers, what we're looking at, how many our percentage of our students out of those who were tested did not meet approaches, meets, or masters on STAAR mathematics. This is 3rd grade only. This is the spring assessment. And so pretty much we're looking fairly decent with, compared to the state number 23. We only have 1% that did not meet, but 99% compared to the 77 approaches, 92 to the meets, and 62 to the 20% masters. Okay, that's our on reading. Our numbers we got 2% for mathematics, 98 for approaches, 90 out of the 43 that meets, and 64% out of the 19% of the state that mastered 3rd grade reading, mathematics. That was mathematics. So, it will tell you those who are gifted, not gifted, and then no gifted information provided. So they were not coded either or way. And, some students are that way. So this is just STAAR. But then you get to go in and you get to play a little bit. And then here's our STAAR Spanish. And looking at these numbers, these varied a little bit differently. So 9% of our students did not meet STAAR. 91 approaches, 68 meets, and 48 masters. Numbers dropped a little bit over on the math side. 6% did not meet. 94% approaches, 76 meets, and 38% masters compared to the 6 of the state. So we're looking fairly decent on IGT students. But then when I broke it down again, and so here we go, looking at, this is just STAAR reading. It's still our gifted and talented students. Then I broke it down by ethnicity. And so you can disaggregate your data by those percentages, by those looking at the numbers. Now, always remember within the state of Texas, if it's below a certain number, we do not disclose information for protection of those students. So that's when you see we went under, I think it's actually here, usually it's 10, but I think for some of these, you'll see another one where it's like 7, you'll see the numbers there. But we're fairly looking at as our students, we're pretty much, when we break it down, always approaching, doing great numbers there. And then we're looking at our meets and our masters. And our masters, that's where, we got to look at how many of our students are going. We're getting meets, and that's a great thing. And then really looking at where do we need to pull our work in? Where are our students? How are our students? And then also thinking about how we're protecting them for GT services. That's going to be my next question, because as you know, those 1%ers, that 3%, that's 3 and 6%, and that 7%, those are going to be the first ones they want to pull to say, oh, they're not meeting STAAR. I need to keep them out of GT services. How are we protecting them from being removed from your program services when they need to be in there? Because STAAR is just a test. It's just a moment. It's captured in time. It is not their whole life career. So we got to remind our counterparts and protect them for their GT services. So this is reading. And this is math, same disaggregated group. It is just GT going into our ethnicity breakdown also once again. So we're still kind of looking decent there. What are numbers? And as we're going into it. And then, I always like to look at middle school, 8th grade, went to the highest level. Because, I had an issue with 6th graders. I was lucky. I did not get 6th graders when I was in middle school. I did 7th grade. They were all right. I did 7th and 8th grade, but yeah, so I had to go to my 8th grade babies. And we look at their numbers for reading and mathematics and looking how they are breaking down. And so for the state, we had 18%. For GT, we had 1% that did not meet. So our 8th graders did pretty good there. 99% on approaches, 94 on meets, and 74 masters. On mathematics, 26% was the state, and then 3% was GT. So pretty much our masters dropped a little bit there, but that's kind of par for the entire state. But we're looking good. But also got to remember our GT STAAR data on 8th grade. A lot of our 8th graders are not in 8th grade math. They are in algebra. And, hold on. So this is our science and social studies kept it going. So they're pretty, science, we're looking at still another 3% did not meet. 97 approaches, 87 meets, 56 masters. Social studies, we have 6% did not meet, for 94, 74 meets, 50 masters. And then here is, I went back to 8th grade reading, not 8th grade, 3rd grade reading, and then did it by economically disadvantaged and who are gifted. So this is looking at those students by ethnicity, who are economically disadvantaged and who are gifted. So they're broken down to a further level of where we're looking at our students and who are being served and how many are being tested. Now, before I get out of here, let me do a new screen share. And I will drop in the chat the page where am I at? I am at like a little larger for those to see. So basically, this is our our dashboard for looking at data, looking at different parts. So just a run through. starting here with program, you can choose your STAAR 3.8, your alternate STAAR, your STAAR EOC, and your STAAR EOC alternate, tax, TEL-PASS, alternate. So you can choose the program that you want to look at. And then you can look at, I thought I did one for EOC, but we'll come back. Performance levels, reporting categories, a standard summary, and you can even go back a little bit to some other years looking at their results. So we'll just stick with performance levels. We've looked at third grade, so let's go to fifth grade. You can choose what subjects. This changes. Okay. We want to look at fifth grade. All right. Fifth grade, spring 2023. We're just gonna, and we'll just keep it a reading, keep it simple. And I chose state, and we'll continue to choose state, but I also wanted to show you before we go there. So you can choose, when you click on the down arrow for the school, if you choose your school district, you can do just the school district, or you can click and it will select all of the schools within that ISD. So well, we're going state, we're not going to any school. We'll clear all that. So we're just going to a state. So you can choose and then click on Give Report. And you can do table, or you can go to a chart, however you look at the data. So this is STAAR reading and STAAR reading Spanish. Fifth grade, once again, where we looked at masters. Actually, let's see if I can reduce this a little bit. There we go. So we got our spring administration, the number of tested. Now, two ways you can get to our disaggregated information. You can go to options. And as you see here, you can always change up to where you're looking, or you can disaggregate. And that's what I've done. And I did for gifted and talented. And you can do an update. And that's how I got broke down disaggregated numbers for our fifth grade students for gifted and talented for the state. Now, if we want to go a little deeper, and so you can go here, also click at state, or you can click at gifted and talented and disaggregate. And let's say we're just going to do it by gender. So now we have our students is drilled down to our selection. It's still our gifted and talented. But now we're looking at male and female for our fifth grade students, how they look as they broke down. If you want to remove that or change, you can disaggregate by, go back to, let's see, SPED. We'll just go by that. So we're still looking at our gifted and talented students, but now we're looking at our SPED numbers for our GT students and looking at how many are out there, how they tested, how many tested. Good question. Okay, so Amber asked the question, can you run reports to show districts side by side with state data? Okay, if someone will give me a district that does not mind being put up on screen, I will try it. It may do it, but I didn't want to go too far into it. But if someone wants to say call their district out, I will go back. And you can always go back to data entry through here. Brownsville, thank you. All right. So we got Brownsville. We're gonna go find Brownsville. Brownsville. And we're just gonna choose the district, just the district as a whole, instead of trying to go from campus to campus. We're looking at fifth grade reading. We're gonna get a report. So this is how Brownsville and the district, the state looks like. We're going to just aggregate once again. This is the other way by gifted and talented. So here it just broke it down to Brownsville's gifted. Uh, let's see. If we go here, disaggregate by gifted, I wonder. So it did not break down to each other. So you might have to download some data, but it did not do that. It's live and in action. So, but we have our Brownsville numbers. But that's something I can always find out if this can get to that point to do that.
Hey, Monica.
So here's Brownsville's numbers. This is what we're, yes. Hey, hi.
When they're asking about breaking these up, like to compare the schools in their district? Is that what they're meaning?
So I believe you'll get all the school districts. So let me go back to Brownsville since I have that permission to show.
Click Brownsville, and then you click the schools in their school district. Like I'm looking at mine and it's got all broken up. So I can see.
Okay, so you see, if you're looking at the screen where it says select all schools, you have like 3 arrows together right next to the school district's name. It gives you it'll highlight all schools.
Okay.
But if it has more than 20, you got to choose less than 20. Ha. System work failure. Let's take state out. Let's see how that works. System failure.
Because mine is showing each individual school compared to each other.
Okay. So let's just choose a couple of schools. I'm just going to take a couple off. Let's see. It would be nice if they had a thing. Okay, get report. Let's see how this works. I see nothing spinning. And it's only elementary, so it's wide. 30 selected. We're going to clear. Go back to Brownsville. And we're only going to choose 3 schools. There we go. We'll just choose a few. I didn't. Okay, let's go back. I don't know why I got that report error. Okay. So here is the few schools I selected, and we'll see if we can disaggregate months again and see if it will do it for us. Or if it just gives us Brownville. Right. So that time it did give us the district and then those few campuses that we did select. You can also choose if you want a report chart, so it will chart it out for you. Ultra bright colors. But I just wanted to, I always like to make sure people have options and you can actually choose by org or name. But let's try. I need to see. Yeah. And go back to our table. It's easier to filter and move maneuver it in your table format. So let's go disaggregated by, let's see how that looks. Let's break it down once again. I lost my schools. Interesting. You know, when you start playing, you start finding. All right. I see a couple of questions in the chat. All right, I got Brownsville. Who's the Chris? Okay, got that. All right, so this is our analytical portal for STAAR. Here's a new tool for you to play with, to have fun with. One thing I did not show, but our STAAR EOC, you can do is also out there available. We're going to look at our STAAR spring and summer. Algebra 1, English 2. Let's do English 1. We haven't looked at English yet. Let's go biology. Let's see how our kids did in biology. Oh, I still have Brown's clicked. Okay. So you still have your numbers, how they looked. We're going to disaggregate by our gifted and talented. So we can always come back and take off the year, the way we got it filtered, our stacks. So since we are looking for summer and spring, it did break it up into those. And so our kids looked, and that's how we're looking. So you can always get to your most recent transpose. Let's look at the chart. That'll be interesting. So have fun, everyone. Have fun looking at your data. Give out a new, a fresher format to look at them. Hopefully you don't have to go into start counting yourselves, because I know y'all done that before, pulling out numbers and reports and just kind of pulling out by yourself. But I found this looking, it's like, oh, let's play, because we do have our students out there. The data is there. Hopefully we can get beyond. And as you see, the data was last recently updated in September 1st. We're all selected. And so I need to go. I just saw region. So I need to go see how is my regions looking. I always like to give my regional people their numbers. Also, let's see, is it here by region? State always gives certain things and certain things. Okay, yes. Now I just miss. Or it might be at the very end. Yep, we can do by regions. Haha. That's nice to know. You can also do it by regions. You can look at the state, look at the region. Hey, good info. Yeah, good info out there. This is our STAAR biology, our EOC. So, okay. So you can look at it two ways. Regional people can get it out there, have these conversations. So if you go to your regional meetings, I know some of you will be looking at this again and having those conversations, and then how to use it and how you're using it. And that's the conversation, I think all of us need to be having, is how we're using the data that we have provided to us, and what do we need to do better and to make a difference as we go into it. So if you got ways that you're using this or thinking about, drop it in the chat. Yes, I know Amber will. Drop it in the chat, or if there's something you want to know more about this, because I can also have as I said, this is how I played with it, looking at it, trying and disaggregating data as I broke down to different levels. But, I can get the build out team. I can get someone from a STAAR assessment to come and talk to us about this. And if that is something you want, definitely let me know, because here we are. We are here together. And so part of that also goes into thinking about progress monitoring and how we're looking at student growth. And as you know, that is the hotbed right now with accountability, but that's part of our services, and part of our state plan is to look at student growth and progressing how they're doing it, how they're reacting to the GT services that you are providing, especially when you're determining if that student needs to continue on in your placement or if there's other opportunities better placed. So it's always about placement, where they're best placed to receive services. And then their academic success, also within our services. And then also in that core content. How does the STAAR and the EOCs affect their academic assessment, those benchmarks? We're looking at these whole rounded students, but then we're the ones who are promoting that they receive these things with these educators. And when we're looking at, especially at the secondary level, that they're in these core content classrooms, predominantly in advanced placement classrooms, where are they doing GT strategies? Are they doing things to benefit our students? Are they doing the same? Oh, this is my core syllabus from 1924. I'm sorry, from 1910, and I'm still doing this core syllabus. It worked then, it's working now. I'm not flexing. But we know kids are not striving in these academic courses. How are we working with our EOC, our court counterparts to say, this is how, this is few differentiated instruction activities that you can do. This is how you can update your syllabus. Really thinking, how do we make our students strive in these student programs, other than feeling like they're locked into a course that is really so rigid, their creativity is drowned. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. Also, and how do they bring it out? What are those enrichment activities that we're bringing in? I know STEM is very popular, but everyone is not into robotics. I'm just going to put it that way. Some are, some of them love it, but some looking for some other enrichment activities in their lives to also bring out and round out what they're doing. So what are we doing in our classrooms and our programs to bring out those out of school options, really thinking about that as we're talking about our student growth and building their the full proud picture. Are we hitting the goal with our students? So I'm gonna leave it at that. As you know, the McKinney, this will remind you that Sing and McKinney Gifted and Talented Alliance is having their regional conference on Saturday, October 14th. Lisa was here last time to talk about it. She might be here. I see her. She's here again, but you already have the link. So yeah. So registration is still open, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Early bird through the end of the week. Open. Early bird through the end of the week. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you want to travel, it's always welcome to travel. It is open to the state, so take an opportunity to attend the regional conference. And then I announced this last 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I'm going for last month, but anyway, I guess ready for October to be here. That's a good thing too. So remember, there was Building Wider, More Diverse Pipeline of Advanced Learners is a new publication that is out, talking about how school districts, charter schools, and other state leaders, are building out and can look better at building talents of our high ability students, really looking at how are we looking at our students and looking at our programs. And they came up with 30, I want to say it's like 32, 33 different things that can be done within districts, within programs to really help advanced learners and really looking at how we can move those students forward. And so they've been doing a great work with the Fordham Institute. NAGC has been a part of this. And so it's a national group that's been working on this, and they're continuing that work. And so they have also put out a survey, because they're still looking, still asking. So let me give you the link for the survey. Some of you may have received a survey earlier, but this one is a little bit different. So if you take a moment to complete the survey, drop it in. Because, you know, Texas is always in the forefront. Hopefully it works, right? Of advanced education and what's going on. If you have not seen your College Board information lately, I would say look at that, because there's things coming out of College Board that we are forerunning in our programs and our services, and how our students are looking across the state and across the nation compared to our national counterparts. So Adam Tyner with Fordham Institute, once again, is conducting a survey and looking at advanced education. Fordham Institute has also put out some other works prior years before this one, closing the gap, some things like that. They've been a part of those conversations. And so really looking at how we can participate, put our voice out there to kind of guide the conversation. So just think about it, and you have it. So I always like to open it up for questions and answers, and willing to talk. If anyone got questions, wonderings, drop in the chat or come off mute. All right, Kathleen, great, great. So if you read the chat, so they are part of a bi-weekly data meetings. And so they are always provided information on a separate line item. And so they get to talk about their campuses. Great news. I like it. All right. Any questions, wondering, hands? Any announcements? Anything y'all want to know about? Any shout outs? Excuse me, shout outs, happenings. Anything new out there? Anyone want to share?
Hi, my name is Hilda Salinas, and I'm with Gregory Portland
Hi.
ISD. And thank you for putting this on.
Hilda?
Yes, Hilda. And I'm new to this role as the director over GT. And I wear, of course, many hats because we're a small district. But I would like to, I'm redoing our district handbook on GT. And I don't know if anybody would like to share, good ideas, best practices, or maybe even share their handbook. I'm trying to align things in our district as well. So we have one high school, one middle school, and 4 elementaries, but everyone is doing something different. And I'm looking for best practices. I'm looking for some ideas and things that work. So I've been looking, I know in the Dallas area, there's a lot of great schools with GT programs. And so I'd be happy to share my email address if anybody's willing to share what they're doing at their school. I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you. And if y'all want, we can have that conversation October. Our October meeting is talk about our handbooks and what's out there. Because, I want to say for those who have a handbook available on your website, it has been very handy to me as I get emails from parents. It's like, here, this is the person to reach out. This is what the district says. So, because I also, if you haven't found out yet, I try to redirect parents as much as I can back to you to answer the questions about your programs. So we can always talk about handbooks. We can also talk about K-12 alignment as our next meeting. So yes, Amber got some samples. Yes. Yeah. Hey. So we can talk about those. If those are things y'all want to talk about, let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We can always do that. Or drop in the chat. I see you, Rosemary. Rosemary is the front and center on my screen right now. So I got you. Okay. We could talk about continuum of services. What does that look like, K-12? And then we can also talk about your program manuals I think I saw someone up front had a board presentations on how do they do that? What do they share for board presentations? So we can definitely, I can put those three on our list on board presentations, on a showcase. Okay. And thank you to those who have dropped your links to your samples on here. I will make sure. And feel free to get, that's why we are here. Then we got local norms for selection. Anyone using local norms? That is why we're here. Now, yes. I think someone mentioned it. I had my ESC leadership meeting last week, and someone mentioned y'all are the most sharing people out there in the world is our gifted community. So do not ever feel like you are alone. We also will always support each other, share. And so this is why we're an open community. This is why we are here to give you information, to support you each and every way that we can. So, Chris, if you put your email in the chat, yeah. He's at Conroe ISD. Thank y'all. Thanks, Chris. But yes, we are here to support. Any questions, any word, there you go. So you got some people there who are willing to talk about local norms, how you're using them. And then we might just have a nice little, we'll have a local norms meeting. We'll have a round table. I have a round table one day. It won't be Monica Brewer talking. It'll be you talking about your local norms and how y'all using it. All right. See, they're all here willing to talk about it. I love it. I love it. I love the what's going on. So we got local norms being discussed here. We got our program handbooks. Then we need to talk about continuum of services. How does that look? All right. Anything else y'all want to hear about? Wonderings. Because someone did ask if I drop out the topics in advance. So you give me some more topics because I already got some here. Board examples. All right. All right, so as we get ready to wrap this up, just want to remind you that hopefully it's out there. I have not seen the update to the website yet. I did it again to make sure that the last recording I do know is on the YouTube page. It is not currently on my page on the GT Educational Resources. Hopefully it will be there soon. I did make sure I tried it again this morning. Also for announcements, please, remember, I have an announcement I should have been making. Go to to our TA website, get updates, and then you'll just sign up for GT as a part of that, and you can get any newsletters. I always recommend always sign up yeah, they didn't change it. So and I'll put the new one up there in a minute. To the next piece of it. And I always recommend that you sign up for the to the administrator address. That's the one that goes to all superintendents and everything, but it's always a high level of those things that are going out. So check that one out also. Here's my contact information. And then before I forget, find it. Okay, so here is, well, all of you probably have it, but if you need to share it with someone, here is the registration information for GT Tuesdays. That, So education in action, and once I found their news alignment announcement, but I'm going to drop her email in the chat. It's Monica Hayes. Education in Action, they have their Lone Star Leadership Academies, and the deadline is coming up soon for the upcoming group. So I'm putting her email in the chat for those who like to, I know some of you have participated in years past with your students. Then, and the website information, here we go. So it's a fourth through eighth graders program also. So you got her contact information, their website. So if you're looking for an opportunity for camps for your students, different opportunities, they are around the state. So they're in various communities, but that is another opportunity for you and your students. All right, so I want to say thank you for another great GT Tuesday. Hopefully it was informative for you. We got some information. I know I got some information from you to share and to support the work that we're doing. So I know we're looking for board presentations. We're looking for handbook information, how we're laying out our handbooks, and then our continuum of services, K-12, and looking at that. So thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Also, have a great week. Enjoy the end of the month and then into October. So I'll see you next time in October. If you get an opportunity to go to the fair, have some good food, but don't overeat, don't overspend, but enjoy the games, because it's going to be, choose a weekend that there is no football game. I'm just going to put it that way. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.